In this video, we will be covering off some of the features of the updated Mule heavy-duty truck, updated to include features deployed in version 1.0. First off, in terms of the heavy-duty, it's been updated to increase the clearance on the wheels by 1 block. This will allow for a little bit easier climbing, improved bumper in the front, some new rope anchors added in, and now the main features is that we've added all of the hand tools are available. Most of the hand tools are available now as equipment that can be retrieved from the Mule. So in the front you have a front hatch. In the front hatch you have radio equipment, defibrillator. There is a flare gun with ammo and a compass, and then you have a rope. The rope can be attached to the winch, and the winch is controllable from the front. This used to be a magall. The magall has been removed, and preference for the rope. To the side, there are hatches, equipment hatches on both sides. On this one side here, you have a welding tool, flare, strobe light, transponder, a electrical cable, and a fire extinguisher. On the opposite side, there is a welding torch, remote control unit, first aid. First aid is also available on the opposite side. There is a fluid hose, a rope, strobe light, and flare. In the back there are attachment points. This is the fuel attachment point for the hose. And up on the top of the vehicle, there is a fluid attachment for coolant and electrical attachment that connects into the main battery. You can open up the engine hatch here in the back. It's a medium engine. If you ever find that you're in trouble where you have caused damage to the vehicle and can't shut it off, there is an emergency shutdown switch here in the back. So let's get out of here. We'll close the engine hatch in the back. And let's go inside and take a look. We'll just shut all the stuff down. Door panels open, gull wing. There's a gull wing door on opposite sides. Enter as the passenger. Close it there. Driver's seat and navigator. For equipment, there is a first aid kit and a fire extinguisher available from the cabin, as well as a strobe light available. There is 2 sets of firefighting gear in the back, and we have a set of binoculars, night binocs, flashlight, and a radio. Close that down and go to the driver. This is the navigator. Navigator has access to the map. To turn on the map, click the button. Banu's map. You can move it all about. And let's start the Mule up and get her going. Ignition switch. Click it on. Turn on all the panels. Rear camera. This is your mode. Current gear. Modded, basically, if you click on mod, what it will do is that it will engage a extra gear to give you extra torque. So if you find you're doing climbing or extra pulling, engage mod, and we'll give you an additional multiplier for torque. In order to change the gear mode, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can click on the panel, or from the seat, just press the appropriate number. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We have a set of emergency lights on the roof. Just click number 5. We'll cycle blue back and forth. Additional controls is that you can turn on 4-wheel steering. Right now it's set for 2-wheel steering, but you can turn on 4-wheel steering to make a little tighter turns. Now the steering is dampens at higher speed, so it prevents you from rolling over. The additional function we have is that you can turn on four-wheel steering parallel mode. What parallel mode basically does is that you can kind of move sideways. And we'll demonstrate that further when we get into drive. We'll turn that off. Additional switches you have is you can turn on the heater, which will try to maintain a temperature of 20 degrees. And then you have your tow connector. Right now it's enabled by default. It controls the electrical connector in the back on the bottom. This will light up when it's attached, but you can disable it by clicking up. This switch here, this button here, is for all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. Right now it is in all-wheel drive, so there is drives that are going through to all 6 wheels. All 6 wheels are powered. If you click on this, only the back wheels will be powered. Turn it off. And this is for the light off the back of the Mule for night driving. Light controls for the front. There is a front light bar, and then there is the headlights. The dome light inside the Mule comes on automatically when you open the door. But additionally, there is a button here where you can turn the dome light on, and then as well you can cycle it to night mode, which is like a red. There's a radio. Turn the power on. Allows for two-way mode, so you can cycle the channel that you're listening to and also transmitting on. To transmit, just press this and it's set in send mode. So we'll turn off that radio. Steering compass. So let's get started in terms of driving. You got your indicators here in the light. There is wheels decoupled from drive shaft. This basically allows for a quick, if you press the left direction arrow, it will quickly almost put it in neutral. What it does is it will disconnect the wheel, so if you're getting excessive wheel spin due to a corner, you can do that, and it will disconnect power to the wheels. This is an indicator that the parking brakes are active. Parking brakes are here. The parking brakes are on, as well as get some hazard lights. And the hazard lights, you'll get the flash in the front and the back. And this one here is a current gear lock. What current gear lock does is it allows you, when you get the current the gear lock, which is the right key, it's toggleable. What it does is that automatic gear shifting will turn off, and you have to manually then manipulate the gears using the up and down keys. You can cycle up there right through up to gear 6 and down. So this allows you for manual control. So this is useful if you're doing hill climb or you're just getting started on heavy pull. You may want to maintain it in gear 1 to get the maximum amount of torque. Well, let's turn that off. Get apart. So let's get started. So to put it in drive, I either click on D or hit number 4 and proceeding through. The controls are, you control this just like a car. W is your accelerator pedal, and S is your brake pedal. So I'll press W to give it some gas. The longer you press the W key, the more pressure it will apply to the brake, to the gas pedal, give you a bit more acceleration. Now this isn't a speedster in terms of off the line. It will get up to over 150 kilometers per hour, but it's mostly designed as a heavy-duty truck for pulling and for hill climbing. It's set right now for high-speed wheels, but you can switch those out to all around, or you can switch those out to grip. So right now we have it in 4-wheel steering. Switch that to 2. And turning is not as tight. Apply the brake. And in terms of parallel mode, the way the parallel mode for 4-wheel steering is, so I turn it, I can have the shift. So this is kind of good for if you want to line up maybe on a tow hitch. You can move it side to side slightly. So that's on drive. If you want to switch to neutral, just hit key 3. Engine will rev up, but there will be no power applied. We'll apply it back to drive. And then it'll automatically change the gears depending upon the torque going to the wheels. And this mule's built with torque preference. The way it works basically is you apply the gas pedal. It will engage the engine. The engine then will go to the transmission zone, and then the transmission zone will then transfer to the wheels. There are clutches between each zone where it will not engage the next zone until the RPS matches the zone that it's trying to power. So the way this works is that you can accelerate the vehicle up just like in a vehicle. You just press the gas pedal. When you get up to a certain speed, you're just going to release it, and it kind of coasts because the clutch will disengage from the previous zones, and this will allow for your fuel mileage is a little bit better, but it essentially drives very similar to a standard car. So again, it's W for accelerator pedal, S is your brake pedal. The longer you press it, the more pressure it's going to apply. And let's see if we can let's get up to full speed. So you can see it's cycling right up right now. We're in gear 4, gear 5, gear 6. There we go, up to 160 kilometers per hour. Let's get some wheel slip, but as it indicated, there is a mod button. So if we hit the mod, it says this is mod drive. Right now it's in gear 1. This applies an additional gear box for torque. So this will allow for some additional torque for climbing and also for pulling. So right now I just have high-speed wheels on. But even with high-speed wheels on there, it actually does a fairly good job in terms of climbing. And with the additional clearance for the wheels, it makes it a little bit easier to go off-road now on this the Mk.III version of the Mule Heavy Duty. Now in terms of manual activity, so right now if I was to go in, right now it's in automatic mode. If I want to lock the current gear, click the right, it's now locked. So now it will stay in gear 1 until I actually change it. So right now accelerating up, I want to change it to gear 2. Just press the up key. I want to go down. And again, basically when the gear lock is on, it will lock the current gear, and then the only way to change it is up or down. You want to turn it off gear, the gear lock, and go to automatic. Just click on the right direction key. So this has been an introduction to the Mule Heavy Duty Mk.III, updated for version 1. Thanks for joining in, and take care.